Yo, welcome to Speed Lab. We're back with another one. Been a little while. End of season got crazy, but the season's over for us now. So here I am with all you. We're going to be reviewing some live film. We got some long jump film today. We have some block start film today, some 400-meter film. So I'm excited to get into it. We won't be here very long. So let's get started. Okay, we got some great film to go over. Great film. Let's see. I think let's go for Rick first. We got Rick here. 400-meter dash by Rick. Okay. So Rick is 50 and having to change his focus back to the 400. I asked him what he changed his focus from. I'm waiting to hear back from him on that. In April, Rick ran 46.4 in the 300. And he's on a journey to run. I mean, I would expect him to run around 61 in the 400. He's currently running 66. So let's see what's going on with Rick. He also wants to lose some weight to help him, and that will definitely help him. Hey, Sarang, if you're here, we're going over your jumps in a second. Just give me a little comment or something to let me know that you're here. We got some jump film from him. But for right now, we have Rick. What lane are you in, Rick? Lane 6. Okay, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's Rick, I think. Out here, outside lane. Let's watch. Sarang's here. We're going to get to you in right after this, Sarang. We're just watching Rick's 400. Okay, this distance is already way too much there, Rick. I know you know that, but it's too much of a distance. You waited too long to kick. I know you're having trouble with your kick. Let's figure out how to make it a bit stronger. Grangemouth Sports Stadium? Where is that? Okay, so I know you mentioned this guy here on the outside of you that ended up passing you. It's 800-meter runner. Probably has a bit better endurance than you, but that's not what helped him, believe it or not. Right? People think the 800 gives you better endurance, and it does, but it doesn't mean you have a better kick in the 400. What's helping him pass you right now is his turnover. You get stuck, long, slow strides. Good form, though. But the guy inside of you, look at the turnover, meaning how quickly he gets his feet down. And you're long and slow. Look at that. Long, slow strides coming down the home stretch, right? Okay, so let's see this. Let's see what happens here. Okay, not a bad start by you. The guy in the yellow comes and gets you pretty fast there. Does he end up winning? Yeah, he ends up winning the race. Looks like a strong sprinter. I wonder what his time is. Yeah, so I mean, you're doing the common theme that we're going to discuss today, which is not covering a lot of ground when you run. You're going for a bit more frequency. Look at how much ground your competitors in front of you are covering. They're just slowly pulling away, slowly pulling away. You guys' stride frequency is fairly similar, but they cover ground much more efficiently than you do. Look, you guys are pretty much, and I'm looking here, right? The guy in the yellow is kind of in his own race, but the guy in second is definitely working hard to get him. But you guys are a little bit step for step. Actually, turnover second place turnover might be a little bit better than yours, but covering ground, right? What I mean by that is look at the distance here. Let's see if we can see the distance. Okay, so this is where his foot is taking off of. Oh, that's not a good example. So he's going to cover about that much distance. That also may not be that clear. But Rick, you're just kind of falling onto your steps, and you're not really sprinting. To be completely honest with you, it's more like a stride or a fast jog. Although it looks very nice, it technically is not sprinting. It's more like a stride. Okay, and we can tell that by the distance that you're covering, Rick. Hi, Aram Siddiqui. Hi. So, but honestly, you held the 800 guy came and got you, right? So I would love to see your 300 meter film, Rick. I'd love to know what changes you made whenever you say you're focusing on the 400. So you made changes. What does that mean? Because we have to determine if those changes are even good. Again, because based on your 300 time, you should be faster than this. Okay, and then we talked about the home stretch here. What you want to avoid that you got into is the long looping strides, right? You're fatigued. I know that. I understand it's the end of a 400. It's not going so well for you. You're going to be fatigued, But what you want to do at the end of a 400, instead of fighting the fatigue like you're fighting now, is you want to fight to keep your turnover. Okay. You want to fight to keep your posture tall, not be sunk into the track, and you want to fight to keep your turnover. And the guy inside of you, the 800 meter runner inside of you, he does that very well. He's fighting to keep looking. I'm looking here now. Okay, he's fighting to keep turnover and posture. He's up tall, turning over. Maybe he's not covering ground as efficiently as I would like to see, but his turnover is nice and his posture is nice. Okay, so focus on that on your last 100 here. All we need to do is replicate that 46 second 300 that you ran in April, and add on a 15 second 100 at the end of that, 16 second 100 at the end of that. We're at 62, 61 here instead of 66. You see how long you're getting there, Rick? Okay. So I'm excited to have some more discussion with you inside Speed Lab and understand what you're doing and what you mean by change my focus back to the 400. Let's have that discussion. I think it will be good. And then I know you're trying to lose weight there. So that's going to help you. An interesting story with Dave, one of my clients. I'll show you. Where is he? Okay, so this is Rick. That's who I've been talking to. Dave, this is my other client, Master's client here, right? We were able to drop under 60 in his 400, and one of his big things was also his diet. So whenever he learned to his best diet for him to lose weight, to be at a good sprinting weight, it definitely helped his 400. So I hope you can find that, Rick, and something we can talk about more inside of Speed Lab as well. Okay. Sarang, I hope you're here. Let's do it. Okay, so Sarang is one of my long jumpers that I've been working with. Where'd you share your film? You must have put it in the messages. Okay. All right, let's see. Sarang, you here still? Let me see which ones we should watch first. Yeah. Oh, nice. Much better landing. Okay, this is what I need to see that takeoff. I'm going to go to the other ones and see if I can see it better. Good takeoff, better landing than what you've previously shown me. Let's see if we have any of yours. There's Casey. We're going to review some of your long jump footage in a second. I'm just trying to see if I have any of Sarong's old footage because it's really a big change that he's making. I don't have any. Okay, we have our standing broad jumps. Okay, so when your hands go up like this, your knees also have to be up like that. You see how your hands are dropping? Excuse me, your knees are down here. I need them up here. When my hands are up in the air, I need my knees up as well, right? Why? Well, I'll show you why. Boom. I need to replicate this position off the board when I do my standing long jumps. Okay, Sarong? I need that position to be replicated, and right now you're not in a good position here off of the board, and so your legs just kind of sweep through. They drag. You see how your legs are dragging? And then you land straight out instead of being able to collapse into your landing. Not bad. Lean back a little bit there. Actually, a lot of it in the air. Sarong. This is good. Okay, so one other change that I need to see is this is great. Now in this position, I need both these arms to go up in the air before they reach out for your feet. Okay. Right now, your arm is just kind of punching through here. I need it to go up. Then again, this is going to create our chair pose with our legs. And then when we reach for our feet, our legs will extend out like that as well. Okay, Sarong, hope that makes sense. Much better landing. Now, you're going to start to rotate backwards. Why are you going to rotate backwards? Because you're reaching for your feet with your shoulders and arms, but I need you to squeeze your core. Core squeeze. This will bring your chest down to your feet and you won't fall like this. Okay. You're falling out of the air like that. Boop. And now you're rotated back. All your energy is shifted back that way because you're not engaging your core. That core is going to squeeze your chest and bring it down so that landing looks much more efficient. And you don't fall like that. Okay, look at how much distance you're losing. Actually, it's not horrible. It's just maybe not great for your back. Yeah, same thing here. Hands reach up a little bit better here. You see how this boom. This arm comes a little bit up instead of swinging straight through like you did on your other one. That's good. Chair pose. Nice. Again, this is what we want to see off of our standing long jump so that we're able to finish a bit better. but then you don't squeeze your core once again and you just drop out. So we need to be doing some core work, some V-ups, some hanging leg raises. Okay, Sarong? This is all stuff that when you ask me for your next week's program, make sure you include to ask me about the core work, because I'll forget. But if you ask me, I won't forget. Okay? So we need core work on top of your next week's plan. Really learn how to use those psoas muscles, PSOAS. Look up what a psoas is. You need to strengthen it for sure. Okay, Sarong? I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's see. Okay. We will do Sean next, and then we'll go with Casey. Okay, so this is who we're looking at. Actually, I can do this. Oh. This is who we're looking at. His name's Sean. Tall sprinter. Needs a lot of work. Let's see. We're just going to watch first. Okay. So, I mean, excuse me. Sorry, I have a little bit of allergies going on. Okay. Sean, what a great start. Okay. So, like, if you can carry on what you started with, and no pun intended, start, the race is going to completely change for you. Okay. And we talked about going sub 11. If you can run the rest of your race, like these first 20 meters, then sub 11 is probably possible for you. However, when you stand up to sprint, things change significantly. We're gonna the concept and the most important piece of this is covering ground. Okay, that's the concept that we're going over. You don't cover ground well, despite the fact that you're tall. And that's going to be one of your biggest advantages, is how much ground you cover, right? Your disadvantage is going to be the time in which you cover that ground. Okay, that's the speed equation, is most amount of ground covered in the shortest amount of time. When you're taller, you cover more ground. It usually takes you a bit longer, i.e. Usain Bolt. When you're shorter, you cover less ground, but it takes you less time to cover more ground. So, okay, so let's look at this start. This is great. Open hips, right? What do you mean by open? I mean, you can still get more open than this. So whenever someone says be open, what they mean is you should have some sort of stretch. Okay. That hip flexor, where's my thing not working? That hip flexor that's pushing off, you should feel some stretch inside of there, right? That's what running open means. Okay. Now, the person next to you, you got a horrible reaction time. Like, watch this. I thought you false started, but you and everyone else in your race actually got off normal. The person next to you didn't move at all. You guys are already going. He's still down in his blocks. Okay. But he's going to end up coming back because of how much more open he is than you are with his stride. Okay. And look, you can see it here. Okay. Again, I'm looking at this young man right here. Look at how he pushes off and he floats down the track. He hits the ground, he pushes off. That one wasn't as good. Look at that, floating, 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 and covering forward distance. Okay, now let's look at you, Sean. Sean is here. Okay, now let's look at you. When you push off, okay, not bad. Not bad. Float, but look at how it stops, how you stop floating down the track now. How small you are. And not open. And what do we mean by not open? Look at this hip. Okay. We're looking at this hip right here. No stretch. No stretch on the hip. You're not covering any ground. Okay. But look at this. This is the exact difference that I'm talking about with the guy that ends up coming to get you. Look at the stretch on his hip. I'm looking at his right leg right now, right? Nice and open here. Now let's watch you. Okay, same leg. You don't get too bad, actually. But the further you get down the track, the less float over the ground you have. The less stretch on that hip. Your right leg, your left leg is the one. We talked about this actually, where one of your legs is better than the other. Right? These are tight hips, not creating a lot of forward force to go down the track. Look at how much less time you spend in the air covering ground. You're so quick to get back down on the ground that you don't even really push. Okay. So let's look. All right. Now let's look at this foot when it pushes off the ground. How much time do you spend in the air? Covering distance. Can you see that? You're at 9.865 before the other foot hits 10.01, right? Now look at your competitor who's coming to get you. 9.88. Look at how much bigger of a step he took, right? And he's shorter than you are. 10.01. So it's the same time in the air. Same time in the air, but he's covering so much more distance than you are in every step. Okay. Let's see if we can see this actually. Boom. All right, I'm looking here. He just stepped on this white line. Boom. This is how much distance he's covering in one stride. All right. Now let's look at Sean. Okay. I'm looking, where should we look? I'll look here. Okay, so you're a little bit in front of the white line. And so you're covering this much distance. You were like right here. I'll do it a different color. All right. Be honest, they look kind of similar. I'm not going to lie. But it's so apparent. Look at. Obviously, at the end, it becomes more exacerbated. It becomes exacerbated. a bigger deal at the end of this race. You're kind of scooting along, not really sprinting. You need so much more upright sprinting work, because every video you send me is a block start. So it's no wonder that this is the best part of your race, when every video that you send me to review is a block or an acceleration. You don't send me any upright sprinting videos, I believe, because you don't do any, and that's a problem. And this is the reason that it's a problem, because when you get to upright sprinting, you don't know what to do. Jackie Holbrook, what's good? How's it going? If you have film, I would love to review it. Jess Golden, yes, I do. Do you review film from people on YouTube? Yes, I do. Yeah, he's definitely fast, Jackie. He runs 11.5, 6. He wants to get sub 10, right? And he's a tall kid, so tall athletes have a bit more trouble learning their body. And I think that's part of the thing for Sean. It's going to take him a lot longer to learn how to fully utilize his stride length with his speed. But once he does, then not many people will be able to beat him, right? You take a Usain Bolt, you take a Gout, where they're very deliberate in how they train and how they learn how to run fast by going slow with a full open stride and then speeding it up, rather than thinking that speed is about how frequently you touch the track. Speed is about how much distance you cover in the shortest amount of time. And Sean's biggest problem here is that he touches the track a lot of times, but he doesn't cover any distance. Like right now is like a big problem for him. He gets smaller and smaller and smaller as the race goes on. That has a lot to do with strength. It has a lot to do with impatience inside the race, and impatience in training, and trying to have it all at once. And you can't do that. So it's going to be a longer journey than you're expecting, Sean. I can guarantee you that. But you just keep working, and the payoff will be greater than you think it will be. I can't guarantee that, but I believe it to be true. So I hope that helps, Sean. I know you're rushed to become the fastest person in your region, but to be honest, it's going to take you more time than you want it to. Achieving big goals, achieving anything takes longer, costs more, and is harder than you expect it to be every time. And so you can't rush it. M9, and my record for the 100-meter dash is 27 seconds. Nice, Jackie. I don't know how that ranks against 9-year-olds. I don't review many 9-year-olds film. So, but Jackie, take what I just told Sean here, which is that it takes a long time to develop speed. People underestimate how much time it takes. And that's why when you're 9, whenever you become 16 or 17, like Sean is, you're going to be so much ahead of your competitors because you've been doing it for so long. Okay. How do I send it over? Jess Golden, just click the link in the description. It's going to take you to my, my Speed Lab school, and you can share it there. I'll show you right now. Okay. So this is Speed Lab. You'll come here, you'll post, please review. You'll insert your film, attach it or whatever. And then you'll select the film category, film review, post it, and then I'll be able to review it for you. Okay, just Golden. It is fast for 9. Great. I mean, if you have film, Jackie, and you ask your parents if you can send it over. Yeah, you're gonna have no problem starting at 9. Like, it's like many other, like I learned this analogy that learning a sport is like learning a language. And when you start when you're young, you get fluent in the accent as well as the language. When you start when you're older, you might become fluent in the language, but you'll never really get the accent down. And that's like a perfect description for any sport, right? Like when you run track, when you play, I used to play basketball as my first sport. And I have the language of basketball forever for someone who started newer, but I didn't have the language of football. I went to a massive football high school, and I didn't have the accent as much as I was learning the language, if that makes sense. I think the record is 23, Jackie says. You run a 27 at 9 years old, and the record is 23. Yeah. Yeah, keep working, Jackie. Keep getting faster. You'll get older and you'll get stronger, bigger, faster, all those things. 4 seconds sounds like a lot, but it's not too much. I'll say that. Because, right, the faster you get, the harder it is to get faster. And you're young. And so 27 to 23 second drop isn't huge, but a 23 to an 18 second drop is big. And then 18 to 12 is massive. And then 12 to 11 second drop is even bigger, even though it's a smaller difference in number, different increment, that kind of thing. All right, Jess Golden's going to send some video, so hopefully we can review that for them. All right, that was Sean. He's really wanting me to review this film, and so I'm trying to. My biggest advice, Sean, is that another thing you said to me is that you're coming back from injury, and so some practices you can do and some practices you can't do. The best advice I can give you for injury is that you're either injured or you're not. You can't be 50-50 in track and field. You're either able to do all the workouts or you're injured, because inconsistency will not get you faster, and running on an injured body part is just going to keep it injured so that you never get healthy. Okay. And you have to do much more upright sprinting. I don't believe you're sprinting enough. You don't have enough volume under you. You like, this footage says to me that you don't have enough experience sprinting, period. So go sprint more. That's not the advice that you probably wanted to hear. You probably wanted me to tell you like arm swings or like, push or something. But the truth of the matter with this video footage, especially with your start being the way it is, you just don't have enough experience sprinting. And you have you do way too much starts. That's my advice, because this looks beautiful. Excuse me. I'll change that actually. Not that you do too much starts, it's that you don't do the same amount of upright sprinting as you do starts, which is why your start is the best part of your race and then you fall apart. It's because you don't do enough upright sprinting. Okay? So that's my advice. Not what you wanted to hear, but that is the truth. And the truth is not always easy. Okay, we're going to Casey. All right. Okay, Just Golden, when you get a chance, just send that over. I might have to hop off before you get a chance to do that, but I will review it. It's Monday, probably Wednesday, or tomorrow's Tuesday, or tomorrow. Okay. My track season is over, so I have so much more time to spend with you all, because my track team is demanding, but they're awesome. So, that's how it goes. Okay. Casey. Now, I reviewed some block starts and footage from Casey. I'm going to review some more jump stuff from her, because there's something that I saw here that I think we can fix. Wait, I will time my 100 now, and I will tell you my new time. Okay. Sounds good. Let me know, Jackie. I guess Jackie's at the track working out right now. Jackie, if you're with your parents, ask them to film it and then send it to me, and I can help you a bit more. There was Casey that just went flying by the screen. Okay. So these are awesome. Thank you. Full approach jumps or pop-ups as we call them. Okay. So there's Casey back there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. On a 7-step approach. Is that right? Did I count that right? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5 step approach. Okay, Case. Nice. Nice penultimate. Okay. Flat. Hold on. I need to hear it because you should be able to hear the penultimate. Oh, Casey. Casey's here. 8-step approach. You start with your right forward, but you jump off your left, right? Yeah. So I count that as 7.5. Because that's technically 1, because we count strides. But tomato, I guess. Okay. So let's hear your penultimate, because I need to be able to hear your penultimate. Let's see if we could do that. Okay, so I can't hear that. I need to be able to hear it, if that makes sense. I need those to be powerful, 2 flat, powerful steps. But if you can carry your speed through that, then that's the best thing. And there's a drill that I wish I could show, and maybe I need to share that with you. Okay, flat right foot. I think it could be a bit flatter, more flat. Okay, I think that's why we couldn't hear the penultimate, Casey. We can hear the left foot, but I need to hear the right foot also. Okay, so I need that right foot flat on takeoff. Again, there's a drill that I will record at some point and share with you. I got to get that. Okay, so this is a great position off the board, Casey, but this we have to get rid of. Okay, you see how the left arm begins to cycle right now. It's coming over the top, punching over, right? So you're already beginning your cycle before you even get off the board. And I need you to punch the arm and establish the height. Okay, I'm looking here. I'll show you what I mean too. Okay, I'm looking at this arm. Look at how it comes around this way to punch up, but it's because you're trying to cycle before you. But this is all before you've even gotten off the board, right? And my coach would always tell me the first rule of long jump is to establish your height first. A part of that comes with the penultimate. A big part of that comes with the penultimate. Another big part of that comes with what you do with your arms off the board. Okay. And so you're already cycling that arm off the board. Can you see that, Casey? Here, let me show you. Let's see if Sarong did it correct. Let me see if you did it in let me see if you did it in another one of your videos first. Yeah, you do it in this video too, right? You're trying to go straight to your landing before you've even gotten up off the board. Okay. Just Golden, I got you. I accepted your request. All right, Casey, let's see. I have a video I know is correct, but let me see Sarong's first. That's not bad at all. Okay, look at how he punches directly off the boom. It's the same running. It's his running motion, except for he flat. Let's see if he's flat. Let's see if we can hear him. There was a lot wrong with that penultimate step. I'm not going to lie. But he punches his arms well. Okay, so I'm going to show you this video of one of we looked at it together before, Casey. It's one of my athletes who ended up jumping very far this year. Boom. Punch off the board and then cycle through. Okay, but you have to establish your height first. Punch that arm up. Okay? In Casey, right now you're coming through here. Like a choo-choo train, right? Does that make sense, Casey, if you're still here? Look how it comes up over the top. You see the difference there? So before you've even taken off, you've begun your cycling and your landing, right? And I know it's because you spent a lot of time working on your landing recently. And so that gets in your mind way back here. It's like, okay, I want to, I've been practicing my landing. I want to have a good landing. I know I need to see my feet. I know I need to reach for them. And so what happens is before you've even established your height, as you're running down, you're thinking about your landing. And so you go straight to your landing. But like I said, the rule number one is to establish your height first. That arm has to keep running off the board, run off the board, punch through. Don't cycle over. So boom, after you've gotten here, where should we be at? After we've gone here, now we can begin our cycling. Only after you started going up in the air. Okay. Casey, I hope that makes sense. And I hope the comparison video, look. Okay, I hope it's clear in this comparison video. He just runs right up. Like there's not much difference in his form from running to takeoff. It's all the same arm motion. Boom, 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 boom. It's just powerful. But you change your arm motion up on that last second, right? Arm comes over the top. Right? Now we're killing all of our speed coming off of the board. All right, Casey, if you're still there with us. Jackie says, no way, I got the state record. So you ran 100 meters in 20 seconds. Congratulations, Jackie. If you got film on that, please share it. Your left arm. Right? Look at your left arm. Look at how it comes over the top. Okay, you're running, you set your jump up, but then you come here instead of continuing your running motion and just coming there to punch. It's called a blocking motion. You need to block, and then I begin my cycle. I run, block, begin my cycle. Right now you're running and then cycling off the board. Okay. Yeah. I hope that makes sense. I hope it not only I hope it's helpful. I mean, this one you did not do that, right? But I when was this from? This one you did it. This one you did not do it. I wonder if this was from a short approach or from a full approach, because this one is correct. Okay, because you just run. Excuse me. Sorry. This one you run off the board. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah. I'm struggling to get my left arm to do that block. So very easy thing to practice is just skipping, but skips for height. I want you to skip, but as high as you can and work on blocking your arms while you're skipping. The other drill that's my favorite is called the penultimate step drill, where you just repeat your penultimate step almost like a hurdler. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's one that I probably have to show you how to do like in a video myself. Because it's kind of hard to explain, and not only hard to explain, my athletes have found it a little bit difficult to master as well, right? I've been doing it so long that I don't remember necessarily learning the drill, although I know the drill and I know its importance. But when I teach my athletes, they have a little bit of problem picking it up. But once they pick it up, their penultimate step becomes so much better. And it's something that I need to record for you, Casey. And now that I'm not in track season, I can actually go spend some time running myself and jumping myself as opposed to coaching all my athletes. Okay. But the more simple one is just skip for height. Skip, work on the block. Okay. It sounds like you're maybe familiar with what I mean by blocking, because you mentioned I'm struggling to get my left arm to do that block. But it's very important for a long jump. If you wanted to triple jump, then this arm is acceptable, right? Yeah. You do the skips for warm up or the penultimate drill. Skips for height. Yeah. So pay attention to your arms while you're skipping for height and really punch them through to try to get you higher, right? Try to actually take less, rely on your legs a little bit less and rely on your arms way more, and see how you're able to use your arms and what's going to keep you skipping high in the air with your arm motion. And those are the arms that you need to come off the board. They just have to be sprinting. Okay, I have to be sprinting down the runway, and then on my penultimate is just still sprint arms, but it's boom, boom, and then they come around or they hang, whatever kind of style you're doing. But they just can't do this. They can't be running, and then they can't come over the top like this during takeoff, which is what I see. I just did it very exaggerated. You don't look like that, but that's what I see, is you coming around here. Mm-hmm. And look at your eyes, right? You're telling me everything that I need to know, which is that you're thinking about your landing because you're staring at the sand, right? Those need to be. Let me. Yeah, look, you're kind of looking at this. Actually, maybe it's just because I can't. Yeah. I don't know if what I'm saying is true or not. I just make sure that you've right. Remember, so this is another thing that I have to teach my athletes, which is where's that one? Okay, so anytime when I'm back here and I'm getting ready to jump, I'm at my mark. Right now, my focus should be out here. Kind of difficult to see that. Let me choose a different color. Okay. I need to pick a point that's past the sand, but that's 45 degrees in the sky, and I'm jumping that way. But my intention is even from way back here, my intention is to go that way. My intention never is to go into the sand. Right. And this is a correction. Like early in the year, I actually, like as a coach, I will stand back here with my athlete whenever they allow me to, because they don't always allow you to at the meets. And I will make sure that they set their intention. I'll ask them and force them to pick a point that's past the sand and 45 degrees. And that's where you're running to. I need you to be aggressive and bring speed and bring height off the board to reach that point. Okay. Then that's going to shift all your focus from the sand to the point that you're looking at, where our body will always follow our eyes. Okay. All right. So we got, so a little bit more. You're probably right. Yeah. The challenging part about the online stuff is that I need to be able to correct your form instantly. The next time you go out there, I need you like to punch those arms. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to say it to make it stick for you. So that when you go out there on your own the next time for jumping, you understand what I mean by punching your arms and by setting your intention 45-degree angle down the track. Okay. So I hope, that was a little helpful there, Casey. You share some block start stuff we're going to go over. I just very quickly, let's see. I'm trying to find, okay. Just Golden, are you still here? I got your videos. Okay, let's see, Casey. Let's see the starts. All right. Yeah. Is this the correct day? I know. Yeah, this is right. All right, Just Golden, I'm gonna get to you in a second. Yeah, nice. These are nice. This is great. I wasn't even zoomed out. Great example of covering distance. Okay, this is what Casey, I know we discussed this a little bit on the last live stream here. So much better covering distance and accelerate. You accelerated all the way through this drive here. You accelerated all the way off of the blocks, right? Like this Like I'm gonna set up a comparison in a second from your old film. Nice push. Look at how open that is. Boom, boom. Stay open. Create that stretch. Nice and patient. I want you to be a little bit more patient on this transition phase to upright speed. It looked like you checked up here, like you looked up, you realized maybe you weren't as far down the track as you thought you were, and then you look back down to continue your drive phase. Just let the wind bring you up, the resistance from the wind. But I'm excited to do this. Watch this. So this is from May 25th. And the right one is from, wait, is that right? Yeah, I think that's right. Let me see. Sorry, Casey, hold on. I'm pretty sure that's, I hope I'm looking at the right one. Let's look at this one too. Nice block position. Yeah. I'm a fan of these, Casey. Have you competed recently? Have you gotten any a chance to implement this in any of your races? Okay, this is from May 15th. They both look kind of good, I'm not going to lie. Not yet, June 7th. Okay, good luck. Let us know how it goes. Just be patient, run your own race. Okay? Like when you get there, I feel like this is you know that this line is 10 meters, right? And these triangles are probably 20 meters. So, when I get to the track, I know that I'm driving, we'll call it like down here somewhere. I know that my drive phase is all the way down there. So I'm going to stay patient in building my speed and being open, just like you were here, all the way to the green. Boom, 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 boom. Set your race up for down the track, and things will go well. Nice. Nice reactivity to the ground. Nice. Look at how stiff nice stiff ankle, right? That's a little spring. Boing, boing, boing. Nice. It's probably why you're also a great jumper. I mean, sprints and jumps go hand in hand, right? Nice arms. Good drive. Nice, Casey. All right. Good luck this coming week. Let us know how it goes. Hopefully it's helpful. You have any more questions, let me know. All right. Just Golden. Let's get it. These will be the last two, and then we'll get out of here. Just Golden is actually Anthony Richardson. Anthony, welcome to Speed Lab. Thank you for joining. And let's go over your film here. Anthony, what do you run? What times do you run? No problem, Casey. Thanks for stopping by. Please continue to share more. I'm having a lot of fun reviewing them, and I hope that it helps. Just Golden, what events, what times are you running? Let's look. He says, I'm in the middle, gray sweatpants. All right. So this is him. You're on a team too, I guess. High school, maybe, I'm assuming. You look like you got some speed there, Just Golden. These look nice. We run like a 10-7, 10-6. Do you even do the 100? You do the 4, 200? I'm a 200, 400 guy, 2278 indoor, 5140 from last year. I've been held up by injury, so my coach made the call to let me rest the latter half of the season as a precaution. I understand. What injuries? I feel like I made a lot of progress this year. I just didn't get to race, so I'm not sure. Yeah, that makes sense. 2278 and 51.4. So you're a better 2278. $24.78 plus 26. Yeah, 51.5, 51.4. That makes sense to me. You don't have any 100 times. What? You hurt your hamstring? Hamstring strain. I was able to train on it, but I had to sit out based on how I felt. Yeah, so that's tough. It's the same advice I just gave Sean, right? Which is like track, man, it's so hard. to perform. Like, consistency is a killer in all things great. Not being able to train is so difficult when you're training for speed, and you're limited based on injuries. Track is not one of those things that you can do 85%, not even 90%. If you're not 95, 100%, track is very difficult. Unlike like basketball, football, you can kind of get away with it being 90%, 85%. Because when you stand up to sprint, like, those hamstring injuries will come back to get you. I wanted to say I see maybe a tendency to overstride a bit, right? Which could lead to hamstring strain. I think you're fortunate you get to train with what appears to be fast teammates. That's such a big part of the battle. I'm a rising senior now. I ran 11.5 as a freshman, but I've been stuck in the 51 since freshman year. Yeah, that's not good. you look faster than 11.5 to me. I mean, well, you ran it freshman year, now you're a senior. So 1070, 1080 is probably a good guess. 1080, 1090, 1080. I'm going to say 1080 is probably a good guess for you in terms of the 100, but that means that let's do some math real quick. So let's see. Okay, so if you run let's say 11.5, okay, just for the heck of it. 11.50, that's going to be 23.0. That's going to be 25 plus 27 is 52, right? And we know you run 51, so it's around there. But this was freshman year. Now, so for boys, you especially for high school boys, you should get stronger and faster the older you get. If you're staying where you are now, that's a problem. Do you know what their teammates, you were racing with two teammates, do they run the 100? And do you know what times they have? Let's just go with it. Let's say that over the 4 years you were only able to improve your 100 time by 0.5. So we'll say 11.0. And to be honest, from what I've seen, you probably are faster than that. Yeah, okay. The one on the left of me ran 10.78 this season, and you were beating him in the example. I know it was 40 meters, but we'll go 10.80. Okay. 10.80 should be 21.60, 200. All right. So that means our first split in the 4 should be around 23.6. Our second split in the 4 should be around 25.6. So that's going to give us a time of 49. Okay, so this is where you should be in the 400. I would honestly guess that you could go faster than that. That's just my intuition here. 22.78 indoor is not too far. Like, given that you have a full outdoor season and given that you continue to train, indoor is always more challenging. I don't know where you live, but in California, indoor season is short, outdoor season is long. You really have time to grow from something like a 22.78 indoor into a 21.60 outdoor guy if your training is correct, and if your programming is correct, if your strength training is correct. Do you do strength training, football, any other sports, weight training, basketball? This is going to be a longer conversation that I think we need to have in the school here, because know why you are running 51 for 4 years in a row in high school. That shouldn't be a thing, you know. Like I mean, obviously you know that because you're here asking for help, especially at guys natural, they reach maturity a little later than girls, and so they get an influx of like these. Yeah, we have weightlifting program. Yeah. Do you have film of your 400s? And then my other question would be like what you're training 350. Yeah. Other than injury, I'm not sure why you would still be stuck at 51 since freshman year. Like unless you've been injured every year, which could be a possibility, which again needs to be that's a different discussion. Yeah, share your film. I'm going to go over it next live, which will be this week sometime, but share it, maybe post a comment on your original comment. And you know what? Also give me an example of what a week training, like if you can give me 30 days of training, that will give me great insight. But if you can only remember a week of what your training would look like, why don't you provide that? I don't know how much freedom you have inside of your high school program. I doubt that you have much freedom to like do what you want to do as far as training is concerned. But sophomore year, I got hurt in December and had to sit out 3 months. Yeah, that'll do it. Is it always hamstring injuries? This is what I'm trying to tell Sean too. Inconsistency in training is your biggest enemy. It's your biggest enemy. And so when you have injuries and you try to push it, but like you're kind of on the fence. And so for 3 months in a row, 4 months in a row, you're kind of okay, kind of not okay. That's just way worse than like sitting out for 2 months and then training hard for 2 months. Yeah, go ahead and give me that rundown of how your training goes all season inside of school, and I'll try to help you. Because you should be around 49 would be my guess. Maybe even 48. Okay, I'm excited to work on this problem with you and figure out what's going on. Because these look great. Again, maybe I didn't add it to stage. Because these look great. Maybe a tendency to overstride just a bit, which again will lead to hamstring problems. You know what? I actually have a band routine that I'm going to put on school that I believe will be helpful for hamstring injuries. Like just here, you overstrided just a bit here, right? Letting that foot hang out in front of you. Look at your teammate. Right? Look at where you're hitting here. And then look at your teammate in the black next to you, where he hits. Way more under center of mass. Okay. And so this definitely can lead to some hamstring problems, what you're doing. Although these look fine. I think that when the pressure is on, like when you have your teammates here next to you running, when you have that, you're going to reach out there and you're going to really try to go. And you're definitely beating him, right? And he runs a 10-7, 78. So these look good. Good. It just comes out every once in a while. I see you let your foot hang out there instead of snapping it back under the hips. But honestly, I would need to see a little more to know. Okay. So give me those videos. Give me a rundown of your season, and let's discuss how to fix it inside of school, and then also when I come on live. Oh, Wednesday I have something. So either tomorrow or Thursday, we can go over it some more, and I can help you figure out what's going on. Okay. In the fall, August, we do cross fields, turnarounds, 400 hills. October, January, move to 300 repeats. Sounds good to me. 400 hills, that's crazy. So you're a track all year guy, right? August to September. You start early. Is your season still going there? That's a long season. Pretty much the same type of workouts through February. Yeah. And then March to May, the workouts get shorter, faster, and more race specific. Yeah, this is going to be a more in-depth conversation, Anthony. I was football track until sophomore year. This was my first year track year round. Yeah, I'm going to upload this band routine that I really enjoy and it's great for your posterior chain, including your hamstrings and glutes and calves and Achilles. Let's see if it helps you at all. I'm getting the impression that your workouts are generally okay. You're following a great pattern. August, September, crossfield turnaround, 400 hills, 1 Excel day. October, January, 300 repeats, kind of through through February. Then March, May, workouts get shorter, faster, and more race specific. That sounds great. You know, like the only thing that I can think of is that if you get hurt every year and you have to sit out, then that will definitely impede your progress. You're in high school, so injuries happen, but probably shouldn't be every year. So you got to start looking at how you weight train. You got to start looking at how you rest and recover. This means sleep, diet. This also means how much time in between reps and sets, how many reps and sets you do. It also means how you train leading up to big competitions. Okay, you probably shouldn't be doing 350s as you lead up to big competitions. The biggest challenge as you get closer to the I said big competitions like 6 times in a row. The biggest challenge as you get close to big competitions is how fresh you can come into the meet, and can you come into the meet injury free, right? Because everyone's pretty much at this point, when we talk about April, May, a lot of athletes are dealing with things around this time. And so really backing off of the workload is going to help. So think about it think about if there's a season in which you always seem to hurt your hamstring and why that might be the case. I also dealt with a ton of hamstring problems. For me, it was because I was sitting while I ran instead of standing up tall. And now that I say that out loud, like you might have a tendency to strike in front of your hips, which is going to also lead to hamstring injuries as well. Yeah, that'll do it. Anthony says, yeah, the week I got injured in April, I had 3 meets in 6 days while training in between. That'll do it. You know, you really, sprinting is such a crazy, it's a science that people try to fight all the time, but you're not going to win. but it's like a category that you won't win. And I have to convince people all the time, like, yo, you're doing too much. Like, that's such a big problem in the sprint world and sprint community and athletic community, and all my football guys that do 7 on, and all my soccer people that go to soccer practice after sprint training, and my basketball guys that want to train every day. Like, I forgot to mention that last meet of the season, I split a 49-0, but then it was a wraps for the season. Yeah. You just need more time without injuries, because we did the math on you, and you should be at 49. And for me, a split in the 4x4 to a certain extent is our capability. We have the capability to run those splits in the open 4. We just need the right competition to make us do it. A split is generally faster because you get a running start. The exception is the first leg of the 4x4. But again, if you split a 49-0, in my opinion, if you had the correct competition, the correct rest on the correct day, you can run a 49-0 open as well. You know, I assumed you should be a 49-0, if not probably 48. Definitely not a 51. Yeah. Heart FC, Heat FC. How do we send the vids? Click the link in the description, and then you'll come over to Speed Lab. You'll come over here, okay, and just like Anthony did, you'll type in something, acceleration from blocks. You'll come here and you'll type in help, please. And then you'll post your video, and you'll select category of film review, and you'll post it. I'll get it. And that's how I'll review your film. Yeah, Anthony, send over the 400 film. You don't, I mean, just do it before tomorrow, and then I'll watch it, and I'll like respond to you in chat on school, and then the next time I go live, which probably will be tomorrow, I'll go over it. Okay. But yeah, I still want to see that 400 film, and let's start to figure out why. I mean, I think the biggest why for you is why you haven't run faster is your inability to train consistently. Consistency beats a lot of things. I want them both. Yeah. Would you like a 49-0 split or an open 4 from last year? I want them both, please. Okay. The more, the better, because we are virtual. And if we were in person, I would be watching everything you did from beginning from the warm up to the end of the session. So it all tells me things. So yeah, I want them both, please. All right. Yeah. All right. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Anthony, thanks for joining. Casey, Sean, Rick, thanks for sharing. Okay, gotcha. No problem, man. Heat FC, go ahead and just request to join. I'll sign you in, and then you can share your film. Thanks, everybody. I'm out of here. I'll see y'all tomorrow or Thursday, but probably tomorrow. All right. Thanks. Peace.